Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk and do an energy clearing and have an energy session around the topic of life transitions. So if you're going through a life transition right now, you could be feeling a lot of different things. You could be feeling a sense of liberation. You could be feeling a sense of excitement. You could be feeling feelings of freedom possibly. On the other hand, and the other side of that, you could also be feeling a lot of fear. You could be feeling a lot of doubt. You could be feeling, what did I get myself into? Why did I do this? And so I want to talk about what a life transition could look like, and then how Reiki can help you to move through that. So my name is Marisa. I'm a Reiki master, teacher, and healer, and I like to share Reiki here on YouTube just to support you through your life and whatever it is that you are going through. So a little bit about how Reiki can be part of your life transition and help you gain clarity on that. So I'm going to start really way at the beginning of my Reiki journey, which is kind of incredible to me. Reiki came to me. I had no clue what it was. I didn't know. I had never heard of it before, and I was in the jungle of Palenque. I was had some time that I was spending because I was going to be entering a master's degree program to further my education. I had graduated from college and I was very directionless. And to be really clear, the reason why I was so directionless was because I had found myself in a drug addiction cycle. And during my time when I was in Palenque, I made a pact with myself that on this trip I was not going to use any drugs or any substances. And interestingly enough, I did a lot of yoga and I did a lot of meditation. And I actually met somebody that was in recovery in a 12-step program. It was the first time I had ever met somebody in a 12. I didn't even know what that was. And so there was a lot of this sort of spiritual things happening, and I was in a kind of spiritual place too. Palenque is in Mexico, and there's all these pyramids, and there's sort of a rich ancestry there. Somebody asked me if I would like to receive Reiki, and I said I don't know what that is, and they're like, well, it's a lot easier if you just try because it's hard to explain. It will make you feel really peaceful, and it'll make you feel really happy and good. And I received Reiki. I think it was maybe a 15 or 20 minute session, and I came out of that session and I was amazed. I was utterly amazed. I couldn't believe the feelings of peace that I had. I couldn't believe how good I felt. And I felt all this elation and this goodness. Two things happened. One of the things that happened was that I decided I was not going to pursue my degree in the master's program. I was going to listen to my heart and do the massage program that I had wanted to do since a child. Since I was a child, I knew within me I was, at the time I didn't have the words, but now I have the words. As a child, I knew I was a healer. And I knew that my hands had something to do with it. And after that session that I had, and in this kind of time and space in Palenque, the life transition that I was going through was sort of like furthering my education, trying to get onto a path, because I was pretty lost. I didn't know what to do with my life. And so my solution was to just go back to school because I was pretty good at school. And instead, what ended up happening, and what I attribute to this opening that took place, I realized when I was doing my very first Reiki master program, I realized that first time in Mexico, it took me so many years, guys, from that very first time to when I was receiving the attunements for my very first Reiki master attunement. I was sitting on the couch of my teacher, and it dawned on me, and I said, I can't believe that Reiki has been with me from this very pivotal moment when I made that decision to pursue my life as a healer. Now, I did end up going to massage school, but in between the time, I had also done many different programs, but I also did a lot of cycles in and out of repeated drug use and lifestyle and toxic partnerships. Once I got into recovery and started to heal that aspect of myself, I began to really understand who I was, right? And I remembered that inner child, like, you are here to be a beneficial aspect, a beneficial voice, a beneficial presence to the world. And ultimately what Reiki helped me do was not only give me the confidence, but it also gave me the path. It allowed me to heal some of these places of inner abandonment that I had done. And through various stages of my life, it had been there as I transitioned in and out of these cycles, and I wasn't even aware of it. That every time I did a training or something for my benefit, how it seemed to open up not only my spirituality, but that those parts of me that always knew that I was meant to be doing healing work. And what Reiki ended up doing and helping me with is helping me to really stay connected to my inner healing. And through staying connected to my inner healing, I am also able to be right here in front of you telling you about it. So from the beginning, Reiki had woven its way into my life. At the same time, so had these angels, I've called them angels, earth angels, if you will, that my higher power dropped in my path, letting me know that there was a way out. You know, there was a way out. There was a place for me that when I was ready, that there would be I would have a chair in that room. It was just taking me a lot of reflection time to realize that both, you know, my higher power came in the form of energy and through the message through a person at the same time, on the same trip, right? And so for me, I hold the energy healing, the vibration of Reiki, really close to my heart because it really helped me. It was part of what helped me to break free, to be able to listen to that inner voice who was my inner child, to then come forward and say, hey, I need help. And when I said that I needed help, I found myself in those rooms of recovery. And so I wanted to share how deeply impactful Reiki has been for me, because it continues to weave its beautiful, loving, compassionate energy into my life in all these beautiful ways, to the point where I now am sharing it with the world. Thank you for being here and for witnessing this and contributing to your own healing through just watching and being a part of my videos. And I hope that this message helps you to come into contact with that place within you that knows, that is wisdom, that has the wisdom within you. So that way you have the courage to move forward in your life in the healthy and well ways that are there for you. So we're just going to do a little clearing right now. I'm going to start this session with some distance Reiki. welcoming in this energy into your life, into your body, into your mind, into your soul. All you have to do to receive is consent. So if you are going through that life transition, you could be experiencing a lot of anxiety, a lot of inner turmoil, kind of like being in the in-between, that liminal space. That's a very difficult place to actually be in, because we're at the word stuck. Ultimately, it's kind of like a frozen place. It's like there may be fear of moving forward. At the same time, you know you don't want to go back, right? So it's actually a very ripe spiritual place to be. And as you might have heard or seen right from when I shared it, it wasn't just one life transition that I went through with Reiki. There were multiple. And what really helped me to move through it, personally speaking, was releasing my attachment to drugs and the lifestyle of how I was living. Because ultimately, once I really got free of that, there was energy, right, to pursue other things. There's a whole world, a whole life of things that are there just waiting for us, right? Friendships, places to visit, our own family. If we just wake up into the realization that in my case, when I moved through not using drugs anymore, that I had a lot of relationships that were just waiting for me to participate in. And there was a lot of life that I wasn't living, a lot of areas of my life that I wasn't living. And for me on this channel, I like to really support you in seeing that those places maybe that you're not living in, maybe part of that is like what you might call your purpose, right? It could be what one might call their dharma, right? Their life's work. And not necessarily work that we do for money, but life's work meaning like what we're here on this earth school to learn from the perspective of the soul. And some of us may earn a living from our dharma, but that's not necessarily always the case. And ultimately, when you do start living that life, that dharmic life, right? How a teacher framed it for me is that when you start really truly living in your dharma, these things of karma, right? The karmic relationships, people call them, right? Those are the places where we're really learning some hard lessons. So our karmic lifestyle, all of that begins to lessen and possibly even be non-existent. I'm going to say it lessens because I'm definitely not self-realized, and I definitely have a lot to learn, and I think a lot of the people I know have still a lot of, not just subject matter, but a lot to learn in the ways of compassion, of boundaries, of unconditional love. So whatever life transition you're going through, could be a heartbreak, allowing this energy to come in right into your heart. I'm going to do a little clearing right around the heart, the armor around the heart. Take a nice, long, slow, deep inhale. And sending waves of peace into the heart. Unwinding any of those patterns, cycles, resistance, things that maybe you brought in from past lives, past relationships, past moments that are not the now, that have been limiting your capacity to love and also be loved. Going to bring in a little essential oil mist that I made. I believe essential oils are kind of how we can bring some of the elements of nature right into a bottle, and they are very healing. So adding a little bit of the cure of nature into this session. Softness of ylang-ylang and rose and lavender. Sweetness of vanilla. Taking a nice, long, slow, deep breath in. And as you exhale, maybe releasing any of that fear or doubt or resistance to whatever it is your next step is. And I hope that through this Reiki session that you receive the clarity and the insight that you may need to help you make that next step in your life as you move through this most right and beautiful time of your life transition. knowing that it's supporting you in making the step for your highest good. Just feeling that impulse to send a little Reiki to your root chakra. The root is associated with the earth. Feeling the support of the Great Mother beneath you, Mother Earth beneath you. As whatever step that you take in whatever direction that you take, feeling the stability beneath you, because during life transitions, things can feel a little rocky. So we're adding in the energetic support and the comfort and the presence of the beautiful earth energy that is very stable. It's very loving, very giving, very feminine, to help support you as you move through this period of your life. May this energy be with you as long as you may need it, and you can always come back to it. Namaste, friends. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a beautiful day.